What is up, Scream Team? Zack is me, and I'm here to bring you a very big update and announcement. I'm making a movie. You've all probably noticed I haven't been very active on my main channel here lately, and I do apologize for that. Being away from my subscribers and not being around to make videos that entertain and enlighten people has been the hardest part of everything that I've been working on lately. But I assure you, I have been working on something. In fact, it is without question the largest creative project I have ever taken on. And now I am very excited to be able to finally share that with all of you in much greater detail. Last November, my very talented filmmaker friend, Erik Champney, lit a fire under me to start working with him on a script for a horror movie, which was based on an idea that he and I had actually come up with 2 years prior to that. Initially, this was a pretty big leap for me, as I am not a screenwriter by trade. And throughout my life, I've talked myself out of many artistic endeavors based on my own self-doubt and uncertainty in my creative abilities. Starting this YouTube channel changed a lot of that for me. This was something I began doing in 2019 while I was still working as a server, and it was the first time in my life that I really committed to working for something that I had full ownership over, in a sense that I wasn't doing a job for somebody else. I was 33, 34 at the time, had no idea where my life was going. I was scared to hell because of that. But I knew that YouTube was the one thing that gave me hope, gave me peace of mind, and that really propelled me forward. And even though I wasn't sure what direction I was going in with my channel, I had a very confident sense that the universe was pushing me towards the thing that I needed to be pushed towards, because it felt right. This is where the Who Killed Who in Scream videos started, which was essentially just me trying to satisfy an unanswered question that I'd always had. Little did I know there were hundreds of thousands of other people who had these same questions, and yet I was somehow able to articulate and demonstrate these quandaries in a series of videos that really took off. And all of these videos, including, how to figure out the killer and the horror movie references and timelines, these were basically just made by me taking my thoughts out of my brain and trying my best to translate that in a way that everyone could understand. I'm not like most people. In fact, I'm fairly certain that I do fall somewhere on the spectrum, and even though that's something that's always been a challenge for me socially, it's given me a very unique perspective. And with that perspective, I look at things very analytically and logically, and a lot of that is why I dig deep into these horror movies that I love so much, because I see them on so many different levels. I always felt kind of weird for that, like I shouldn't be this invested in things like this because none of my peers ever were. But again, it was taking my thoughts to YouTube and building this community where I get to interact with all of you who not only appreciate that, but in return, you inspire and encourage me to aim higher. And this is where we are today, because none of this is possible without you. I was inspired to write a movie because of all of you and your love of this genre, which I also happen to love so much. So, without any further ado, I want to announce to you the title of my movie, Macabre, as well as the Kickstarter campaign to help fund it, which is going to launch next week on August 6th. Macabre is inspired by the slasher murder mysteries of the late 90s, namely the Scream trilogy, but in the styling of 80s Italian horror, with a good heaping dose of inspiration from directors like Wes Craven, Dario Argento, and Alfred Hitchcock. This is a movie that was cultivated from a very unique concept that Erik and I came up with, which I cannot tell you about because that will spoil the surprise, but it was written by us honing in on the essence of our favorite horror movies, or even our favorite moments in random horror movies, and trying to understand what it is about that essence that just crackles and makes those movies so special to us. Movies like Halloween, Candyman, Psycho, even Friday the 13th Part 2, all have this immortal quality, a secret ingredient that has embedded them in our hearts and minds. That's the component that Erik and I are striving for with Macabre. This is a long journey that is still in the very early stages, but it is important to note that our plan as of right now is to make a short film version of Macabre, which we can then use as a proof of concept to get the feature-length movie made. Therefore, we decided that our opening scene would be the perfect presentation for this, since we were especially inspired by the bombastic opening scenes of movies like Scream and Suspiria when it came to writing this particular set piece. Now, I know as I'm speaking to you that I clearly have confidence in what I'm doing writing, and you all surely have confidence in what I've done in the past, but I want to assure you that this is a project that I would never take on unless I was fully prepared to go all the way with it. That is why I have surrounded myself with an extraordinary team of talented and creative people who have not only the experience of making movies, but also the accolades and achievements to go along with it. So even though I am a first-time writer and director, I will be in very good hands with my co-writer Erik Champney, who is also my co-director, as he is already a well-accomplished filmmaker who has 2 award-winning films under his belt. With him, Erik brings a tight-knit family of creative individuals, each possessing their own unique set of skills, which they've cultivated from their respective film backgrounds. They're a wonderful group of people who have worked together as a team on many movie projects in the past, and with me joining them for Macabre, we're excited to make this the most memorable movie project yet. Erik's team includes our executive producer, Randy Baruso, our director of photography, Isaiah Providence, our music composer, Merrick Smith, our assistant director, Dylan Goodwin, as well as our lovely cast of actors, China Peruccio, Siobhan Hampton, and Harvey Lipman, all of whom are ready to jump into action as soon as our campaign reaches its goal. We've also attained the artistic talent of Matthew Terrian to illustrate Macabre's poster art, which I am very excited to reveal to everyone on the day of the campaign launch. A film's key art is one of the most important aspects of a movie, and what I love about what Matthew has done is that he really evokes the spirit of a bygone era of the horror genre. The poster, of course, will be one of the many rewards available to all of you if you choose to back our Kickstarter campaign, but I promise you this is something that you will definitely want to have in your collection. There will also be limited edition rewards that will only be available for a short time once the campaign starts, so if you're interested in supporting Macabre and being among the first people to know when it launches, you can head over to our landing page and sign up to our mailing list. This will be the best way to get updates on not only the campaign, but also the film's production once we start moving towards it. You can also follow us on social media at Macabre the Movie, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. The links are all down below. And above all else, share it with everyone you know, especially the horror movie lovers in your life. Send them this video too. You never know. Even if you're not able to contribute to the movie financially, you might just know the person who will. So every bit of engagement is going to help us out right now. If you want a direct link to Macabre's pre-launch Kickstarter page, you can click right over here and sign up to get notified. And if you're watching this in the future, that will also be your direct link to support the campaign. Stay tuned on August 6th, where I'll be dropping the official campaign video. But until then, I've been Zack Cherry. Thank you for watching, and I'll be right back.